wanted to just do a super quick tutorial about how I would plant 2 and 3 node cuttings. What I have right here is a haskap or honeyberry. This is a borealis cultivar. This is consort black currants. You can see this is a very small 3 node cutting for the haskap, and here's a smaller 2 node. And if I was planting a 2 node cutting, how I would do it is I would go out into your landscape where you're going to plant these, and I'd push the cutting straight into the ground, and I would leave the top node, you can see right there, say about a 1/2 inch above the surface. And the reason why I want it close to the ground is I want as much of the stem as possible, the much of this cutting as possible, to be protected by the earth so it doesn't dry out, but leave enough for the sun to hit and stimulate those top nodes. If I had a 3 node cutting, I would do something very similar. I'd push the first 2 nodes down. These are hard to push down. And I would put it so that way the second node is just below the soil surface. So I would mound it up a little bit. So the second node is just below the surface, but very close. And that way both nodes get the protection. Both nodes have the opportunity to put roots out. So here is a consort cutting. It's pretty small, but my nursery stock this is as good as it gets for what I typically use for propagating. And this is actually a 4 node cutting. And I'll push the bottom 2 nodes down, and I'll push it down so far so that the lower of the top 2 nodes is just barely above the ground, above the soil surface, and the other one's up a little higher. And for this cutting here, this is a tip, this is a termination point on the consort. I would cut this here, I'd cut the top of this off, so there are only 2 more of the buds or nodes would be above the soil, and I would do the exact same thing. I'd push that down to right about there, and I would remove this. You don't have to, but I find that you don't want too many nodes above ground because it could put out too much leaf too quickly and it can stress it out. So just a really simple little example tutorial about how I would be planting these cuttings.